só toca, mas fala também, e muito. E vocês vão ouvir hoje esse músico, grande músico, Kenny G. Ele vai estar com a gente em Gente de Expressão.
And I hope I see you all soon.
Why your friends call you G-Man?
Why do they call me G-Man? It's probably easier than my real last name, which is Gorlick. So G-Man. It's been a nickname since I was, I don't remember, since I was in school.
So G is an important thing for you to be G. It's something that you identify yourself as this.
They do.
They do.
I don't.
Are you a superstitious person? Do you have any ritual to start your shows?
No.
Before you play something, do you have any ritual in your life?
No.
Nothing at all?
No, I don't. It doesn't work for me. I just like to do each song or each night when I perform. It should be a little different. I mean, some nights there's no one comes backstage and I just sit by myself. Other nights I might be talking to somebody and then grab my saxophone and just walk out and start the concert without even touching it, without warming up.
When did you find out that you were a musician?
I think when I was in high school, 17 years old, I think I knew I was going to do it because I played a concert with a professional band, Barry White, and his Love Unlimited Orchestra did a concert in Seattle, and they needed some local musicians to fill up the spots in their band. They traveled, but they didn't travel with everybody. Now I was only in high school, but for some reason I was called in to fill in and play a spot.
Before that, you never had any contact with music?
No, I was in school, yes, but not outside of the school. So I went in front of a real audience, played, and
But when did
great.
you start playing? When did you find out that, oh, I can't play this, I have this touch?
Well, I did. In school, I was always one of the best saxophone players in school, but I never thought that I didn't know I was going to really go on until I did that one concert that I was telling you about, because from there I got so many accolades and so much encouragement that I thought, I guess I'm pretty good. I guess I'm good enough to be a musician now.
Do you remember your first day that you touched this?
Yeah, I do. I remember putting the saxophone together for the first time.
Why? Why the sax, for instance?
I was watching television and saw someone playing the saxophone on television, on the Ed Sullivan Show. And I thought that it was really, thought it was an instrument that I could play. I thought I'd like to try it. And I got one to try, and well, it wasn't this one, it was a curved, an alto saxophone. And I put it together, blew into it, and I was pretty good. Just right off the bat, I could make a good sound.
Were you, as a teenager, were you very popular?
No, I wasn't very popular. You mean with women? No, not really.
School, around?
I was, well, I was in my band, I guess I was popular, but only as a saxophone player. I mean, I wasn't.
With girls?
Not really, no. I was pretty shy. A little too shy, I think. I didn't have a girlfriend until I went to college. It was the first time I had a girlfriend. I was mainly a very good student. I got all A's all through high school. I got A's. I was on the golf team, and I was playing the saxophone. But I never, I wanted to have a girlfriend, but I was just a little too shy. I couldn't do it.
Really?
I couldn't get myself to get a girlfriend. I was too bashful to.
You wanted and you restrained?
Yeah.
And did the music help you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes?
Yeah.
To keep in touch with girls?
Well, yeah, after high school. Once I started to play in some bands, and we started to play in nightclubs and things like that, then, of course, everything changed real fast. And I made up for lost time.
And now?
Well, now I'm married and I have a son.
No, I know, but you have a lot of fans. I mean, you know, women, they're crazy about you.
Where were they when I was in high school? That's the question. I had fun. I was always a happy kid. At least my mother used to tell me that I was always happy. And I was always the one to try things first in my family. I have a brother and a sister. My brother's older than me. He's 5 years older. My sister's 5 years younger. But I was always the one that would try things, like playing golf. I started golf, and then my brother started golf. I started skiing, and my brother started skiing.
You go first.
I always went first, even though he was, you know, quite a bit older than me. But I had fun, enjoyed myself. My parents were very encouraging for school, and so I always got good grades, always A's. Math was easy for me. Everything was easy.
Did you feel alone?
No, not really. No, I had lots of cousins, and I always had my saxophone. So
this is something that, you know, make a boy, as a teenager, a boy, even if you don't have a girlfriend, for instance, makes you be complete.
What, the saxophone? It was for me. I used to go down into the bathroom downstairs in our house, a small bathroom, I mean, much smaller than this room, just a little corner. And I would practice there for hours every day. After school, I'd come and take my horn, close the door, look in the mirror, and practice, and watch myself practice all the time. Having success selling records, and, you know, from a business side of things, being successful, that's extra. But for me, I play the saxophone because I like playing the saxophone, not because when I played it I knew that I would be great and I could go on to bigger and better things. I love it. I mean, I love playing the saxophone.
Even if it wasn't your profession, for instance, you would do that.
I don't think that I would do anything else.
Have you ever thought about?
I've never done anything else. I've never made any money doing anything else. I've never worked except playing the saxophone. Well, I can always, sometimes I think about being back in high school when I'm playing my concerts and I'm standing in front of people and playing. It's very exciting, and there's a lot of people out there, and I think about back in high school when not that many people were very interested in me and what I was doing, and it makes me really appreciate what I have. It makes me appreciate the life that I have now, and I don't take it for granted because it wasn't always like that.
The music, for instance, is there is an influence of some suffering or some romantic stuff, you know, he went through. It's not your case, or you have some of these?
I don't think that's in my music like that. No, I don't think so. I think my music is filled with different kinds of things.
For instance?
For instance, well, I mean, it's not just happy moments. I mean, there's sad moments, too. I've had a lot of things happen in my life. I mean, I'm like everybody else. I've had relationships that didn't work out. I've had relationships that have worked out. I've seen birth. I've seen death. I've been very happy, been very sad. I've been poor.
Rich.
Well, okay. I don't like to say that, but yeah. So I've done a lot. I've done what a lot of people have done. I'm not that much different when it comes to those things. I'm just like everybody else. The same feelings that I feel, everybody feels them.
Yes, but as an artist, you have this feeling and you catch it and put in your...
That's true. I have an outlet for it. I have a way to express it. So yeah, all those things come into my music. Some songs, when I hear them, I know the surrounding circumstances of when they were written. There's a song called Silhouette that I wrote.
For instance,
For instance, that song was written, I had a small little apartment in Los Angeles, no money. So I was in the bedroom. There was only 2 rooms, a living room and a bedroom. So it wasn't like...
No choice.
No choice. So I had my, my little studio set up, just very ordinary equipment and a microphone. And I started to write a song, thinking about how all alone I felt at this moment in this apartment, because people were banging on the walls telling me to stop playing my saxophone. Because it was noise to them. Not music, it was noise. And so that song, when I
Too much noise here.
Yeah, can you
like
be
this.
quiet? We're trying to sleep. Shut up. That kind of thing. And I understand that.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it's not just because it's music to me doesn't mean it's music to the guy that's trying to sleep upstairs.
Yes.
So when I hear that song and when I play that song, I'll think about that. Say, okay, well, things are different now and it's great.
Long way, yeah.
But so that's, you know, each song to me has a different little feeling or circumstance that surrounds it. But there's not one theme that's in my music, like a rejection that comes out. Nothing like that, really. I'm one of the lucky people. It just turns out that the kind of music that I like and that I play, it becomes commercial. I don't know why. It's great that that happens, but that isn't the intent.
What do you think while you are playing?
Well, most of the time, if I'm doing my job right, I don't think about anything. I'm just part of the music. Sometimes maybe when I'm not quite in the frame of mind that I'm supposed to be in, sometimes I'll start thinking about things that are more tangible. But that gets in the way of the music. Like I might be thinking about, I see somebody's face there and they're looking at me and they're not smiling, and I'll think, I wonder why they're not smiling at me. But I shouldn't be thinking about that because I should be playing the music. Or I might think about, maybe I'm not sure about what I'm wearing, if it's the right shirt or the right suit. I think, maybe I should have worn something else, and I'm thinking about that. And that's not a good thing, but sometimes that happens.
They say that a musician is someone completely out of this world. Is that the way you feel?
When I'm doing it right, it's the way I feel, yeah. Because then nothing else means anything. When we're playing the music and it's really perfect, and between myself and my piano player and the drummer and the bass player and the guitar player and the percussion player, we have something going on that's big. And it might just be one note played the right way. And you just don't know how that's going to happen.
You are also, as well, a pilot. You said you like to fly. There is a relation between fly and play?
There's somewhat of a relation. When I'm up flying, of course, I can see beautiful perspective of the world. I see the world differently. It's very cool to be able to recognize parts of the country just because I've seen that mountain or that lake and I know where I am, and I know if I go over here I'm going to see this. And it's like driving down the street, but just high up in the air, and it feels good, and a sense of freedom and flying.
And are you a person in charge of your contracts, your business? Do you do it by yourself?
I have people that work for me, but my education is in business. I mean, that's what I took in school. I didn't take music, I took business.
Oh,
and so I know that the guys that are working for me are doing the job right.
What is the miracle that you expect? You called your last album Miracle.
Miracle is the birth of my son. That's a miracle, I think. In fact, that's how the title of the record came by. I mean, it's a record. It's a holiday record. It's made mostly of Christmas songs. There's some original songs as well. So it's not all just specific music for Christmas. It's music for the whole year. But when I made that record, it was mainly, to just see how it was to play some classic melodies. Normally I wouldn't do that. But I really liked the way it came out, and with the birth of my son, the title Miracle seemed to be a perfect title, because the holiday time for a lot of people is a time when miracles are supposed to happen. And also having the birth of my son, and I think if whoever's watching this that has children knows the feeling, it is a miracle. So it seemed like it was the right title and the right feeling.
Right moment.
The right moment, yeah.
What is your feeling when you are in front of a big audience?
It's not being in front of the audience is not that's not the main thing. It's if the music sounds good and if the music is being played well. It could be an audience of 4 people. It could be an audience of 20,000 people. It's the same thing.
No matter.
Not really, no. A lot of times when you have a bigger place, sometimes the sound isn't quite as good. So you have to work harder to get that right feeling. Sometimes when you're playing in a small club or a small place.
Do you think your music now is really you?
I think it is, yeah. I now, over the last few years, I have my studio in the house, and I can spend unlimited amount of time working on my records, which I do. My wife will back me up on that, because I lock myself in the studio, and I'm there for days, and maybe just come out to eat dinner, and then go back in, and that's it. I'm just in there. So the music that I do is not influenced by other people, and so it's me. It's all me. I do the sounds, like if there's drum sounds. You know, we have machines now that have drums in them, and you can program them. It's not the same as live musicians, but it's close. And so for me, it's the tools that I can use to make sure that the sound that's on my records is really just everything that I want it to be. And I think that's, as an artist, I think it's important, because then if you want to hear my music, you have to get my records. You have to come and see me play. You can't hear the same kind of thing with somebody else, or oh yeah, well, he sounds like him. I don't want to sound like anybody else. If I do, that's the way it is, but I don't.
You are yourself.
I don't start off taking another person's ideas and trying to emulate that. I just go and lock myself in my room and work on music that sounds good to me, not knowing if it's going to sound good to anybody else.
Kenny, are you a romantic person?
I think I am.
In what way, for instance? What do you define?
Well, I think that to play this instrument properly, you have to be romantic in that sense, because you can't just, it's not just a piece of metal with a reed on it, and these things, you push them down and different notes come out. There's a lot to playing a saxophone and playing melodies in a way that there's emotion in there. So you have to romance the saxophone in a way as well.
And what kind of personality of woman are you attracted to?
My wife, I'm attracted to her.
Describe her to our audience.
How do you describe it?
Well, personality, she's shy or...
She's not shy. No, I'm not attracted to the shy personality. She's not shy. She's very funny. She's got a great sense of humor. She's beautiful. She's very... she's a good reader of people. She understands people very well. And she's nice. She's very nice to me. I mean, she treats me with respect, and she treats other people with respect. She doesn't have any angry feelings inside of her that come out. You know, she's not inconsiderate or disrespectful for people. She's very. I admire her. She's a good person. She's somebody that I look up to, and I'm glad that we can be with each other.
Since you became famous, what has changed in your life, basically?
Some things are easier, but some things are harder.
For instance?
Well, the easier things are the fact that I have a lot of people that will help me, and they're happy to help me do things that I want to do. Like if I want to go from Seattle to Los Angeles, I don't have to do all the phone calls. I just have to say, oh, I want to go to Los Angeles on Tuesday.
You have a stuff around.
It's done.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great thing. That's nice. The harder things are the fact that when I'm out, a lot of people are aware of me.
You are a guy that sells a lot. What do you think is the reason?
I'm not sure. I think that Well, my main thing is that I know that as an artist, it's my responsibility to do music that means something to me, music that's not hypocritical. Like I don't create a song or write a song or make an album in order to sell records. I don't do that. I only make my music because it's a piece of music. It's an emotion. We were talking about that. There's an outlet for it, and for me, it's with my saxophone. So it comes out that way.
Thank you, Kenny, very much for your interview.
It's great.